Okay, welcome back to the final video in this series of Pong, um, which is serving as an introduction to the second module of this course. What I want to do today is show you how you can create a smoke trail, or rather just a trail like this, which just makes the game a little visually more interesting. Um, and really all we're doing is if I slow this down, we're putting an image behind the image as the object moves, and then making that image remove itself after a period of time. The longer the time, the longer the trail. And so this is the effect that we're getting. So I've created a class called Trail, and the code is fairly simple. I created an integer variable called trans, which is short for transparency. And in the act method, I'm getting the image of this object. I've set the image of the object to the ball, as you can see. So I get that image, and I set the transparency of the image to this variable trans. The transparency is a number that represents how opaque the image is. A transparency of 255 is the maximum. You can't be bigger than 255. And that means that the image is a solid image of the ball. Then I subtract a number from it, which makes, when I set the transparency to a smaller number, it makes the image less or more transparent. Eventually, when the transparency gets to 0, the image is completely invisible. Now, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to keep subtracting 25 from the transparency value, reset remember this act method is running continuously, so it resets the transparency to the new number. And eventually, of course, that transparency will become fairly small. And I've chosen to stop everything when the transparency gets to 20. And that's almost invisible anyway. And when that happens, I'm going to remove the object from the world. This is kind of like the eat method, except this is like the ball eating itself, which is really doesn't make sense. But so what we're going to do is get the world again. That's the actor method that returns the world that the actor is in, and that means you can call any method from the world class. This world class, one of them is remove object, and the keyword this means this object. So this object is the trail. So after the transparency gets to the point where it's almost invisible, the ball or the trail removes itself. If I just put a trail object in the world and you watch it and ignore the ball moving around, you can see that this is just going to fade away. So it doesn't move at all. It just fades away fairly quickly. Now if I made this a smaller number, it would fade away slower. If I made this a bigger number, it would remove itself sooner. So you can control how long the trail is by changing these two numbers. And you might want to experiment with that. But this is the effect that you get. But how are these things being added to the world? Well, in the ball class, I've got all the code that I had before. But with this extra line of code here. After it moves, I add a new trail object to the world. At position, get X and get Y. So this is adding a trail at the exact position of the ball. Now that trail does not move, so when the ball moves out of its way, you can see the trail. Maybe we can have an idea of how that works if you look at this and I execute the act method once. It actually added a ball there, or a trail there rather. Let's move the ball over to here. Maybe we can see this a little bit better. So this is the ball. Oh, sorry, this is the ball here. see because they're the same object. So this is the ball. So I just moved, as you can see, but now if I make it move again, there's that ball that's behind it. And it keeps adding another ball behind it as it moves. That's right here. Add a new trail at position XY, but then the ball moves so the trail is exposed. But of course the trail just fades away. As you can see, these balls are all fading away. So eventually they'll all fade away. And that's how you can create a trail in your scenarios. That concludes the intro to the second module of the InformNet 30S course. And you now are to continue on with the module reading through and completing the assignments.